Hey guys, how's it going? My name is Chibigoat, and this is the very first video to the new series I'm doing, which is basically going to learn you the ins and out of Team Fortress 2. I'm going to go over each class, and I'm going to go over other stuff like maps and hiding spots and all that stuff. And we're going to start off with the spy here. Basically, I'm going to show you the loadouts I use, what I do, and how I do it. In each one of these videos, I'll be giving you in-game examples of my playing, and it will give you as much detail as you can possibly handle. I'll be covering beginning techniques as well as advanced techniques throughout this whole series. So if you're watching the beginning and you don't like it because it's all stuff you know, just wait a little bit and you will get to the advanced techniques. So let's start with loadouts, shall we? The first loadout I have here for you is my original loadout that I would use pretty much all the time. If you watch my videos before, you'll see this loadout. This is what I stick to. Basically, it's just simple as the Enforcer, Eternal Reward, and the Cloak and Dagger. Your Eternal Reward is basically the best knife for me. I think the reason I like it so much is it adds simplicity to the spy. You don't have to worry about focusing on disguising every single time. It does it for you. Your Eternal Reward Your Eternal Reward also makes it incredibly easy to take out engineer equipment. All you have to do is stab them in the back, sap their stuff, and you're good to go. Basically, this is because as soon as you stab them in the back, you're them, so the sentry does not attack you. You see I have the Cloak and Dagger equipped. I use that because you're able to simply stand still and stay invisible, and it's incredibly handy, as you will probably see later on. Now I have the loadout that I use currently, which is just replacing the Enforcer with the Diamondback, which just came out yesterday. So it kind of switches around the damage thing. You saw on the Enforcer, it gives you a plus 20% damage, but on this, it has minus 15% damage. However, it is worth it. So the Diamondback and your Eternal Reward are pretty much best friends, because your Eternal Reward makes it incredibly easy to take out engineer equipment, and that really benefits the Diamondback, because for every engineer equipment you take out with the Sapper, you get one guaranteed crit with the Diamondback. And that crit does about 102 damage, which is enough to kill every class in the game in 2 shots except for the Heavy, and simply 3 shots to take out the Heavy, depending on if they just ate or if they're being healed by a medic, which also applies to the other classes. Now, I'm not going to talk about this loadout a whole bunch. All it is replacing the Cloak and Dagger with the Dead Ringer with either of the guns. The Dead Ringer also benefits pretty well from your Eternal Reward, because if you're disguised, you can simply bring out your Dead Ringer if you're afraid someone might suspect you, and you'll die, according to them. But as soon as you uncloak, you're still disguised, so it works out pretty nicely. The final loadout I'm going to talk briefly about is a substitute for your Eternal Reward if you're not so good with that. So basically, the Converse Kunai takes away 65 of your health, but it also gives you health from every person you backstab with it. But the max is 180 health, which I will show you here. You may want to turn down your speakers, it gets a little bit loud. Do it now. Do it now. Do it now, come on. So the reason I put the Dead Ringer with the Kunai is because, you know, you have a really small amount of health before you stab anybody with the Kunai, how it is. And so if you use the Dead Ringer, you take a lot less damage once you get hit while you have the Dead Ringer out. So you're not gonna die. So it all complements each other. It's pretty nice. So the first tip I have for you is don't let them see you. This includes all the time. If say you're playing red and you have to go up there while they're in their little cage still, do not let them see you before then. before they're out of their cage, because then they become what I call spy aware. You do not want this, but you have to be this. So basically what you're going to see here is exactly what I was talking about. So before they can see me, I stealth and then go out, so they have no idea that there's ever a spy in the first place. Now the thing that can ruin this obviously would be other spies on your team that are stupid. That can always be a problem, but this, if there's no other spies, and just overall all the time, is the best idea to do, so they are not spyware. So when the enemy knows there's a spy on the other team, that would make them spy aware. It's pretty self-explanatory, but the problem with this is you're going to die a lot more often. If they are spy aware, they do spy checks all the time. You know, pyros are blasting things all over the place. Everybody's checking behind them. It makes your job a lot harder, and you die a lot more often. So you may be saying, well, they're going to be spy aware as soon as you stab somebody in the back or fail to do so, which is true, but you have that backstab, and they didn't know you were spy aware. So you've accomplished a couple different goals here. The first one is you probably made somebody angry. That's always good. The second one is you got to kill, or 2, or 3, or 4. So something that goes side by side with being spy aware, or the enemy being spy aware, is to avoid hiding in corners. So if they are spy aware, they know you're there, especially if they know you're around them, they're definitely going to check corners, and I've seen lots of spies get blasted in the face who are just sitting invisible in a corner. That may or may not have included me 1 or 2 times. So as you take a look at this clip, this is a pretty common place for people to hide. Not where I am right now, but you see where that health and the ammo is, where I just picked it up? That corner right there, spies will hide there. Spies will hide in that corner across from me, right back there, right there. The best idea would be to hide on the side of that, to the right a little bit, or just in the open, in the middle of the room, or hugged up against a wall, like back behind me, or kind of where I am right now is a good place too, because that's not very common of a place to chill. It's important to stay out of common walkways as a spy, because you know when somebody runs into you, you become visible slightly and they blast your face off. So this is one of the more advanced techniques that I will show you here. It takes time to get it down really well, but once you do, it is amazingly useful. So there are 3 specific ways I can tell you about how to be a tricky little bastard. So the first one is juke them like WTF barbecue sauce. This is done by simply being in melee combat with them and running around them one side and then quickly going the other side and stabbing them in the back. Sometimes it gets to be a little more complicated, like I'll show you here. This is just my friend helping me out real quick, so here we go. So your goal here is to trick them and make them think you're going one way and then stab them in the back by going the other way really quick. Doesn't work as easily on this guy. And for number 2, we have the stair jump, which I'm sure you are pretty familiar with. It's one of the more common spy trickeries. So I had my friend help me out here. You simply jump, time it as well as you can so that they can't see you, stab them in the back, and you are good to go. This tends to work best when somebody's following you. You run up the stairs. Sometimes it can be difficult. It's generally a really difficult thing to pull off, but you keep practicing with it and you'll get it. So the third and final one here is the WTF, also known as oh shit. So it's pretty self-explanatory. Someone's chasing after you, you go around a corner, and then you pretty much have to work on your timing to get it down and go around right as they're about to go around the corner and stab them in the back. So guys, I hope you learned a little bit about the spy. Thanks for watching, I appreciate it, and go ahead and check the links in the description for my daily updates, and I'll see you later.